Marquez dislocated the shoulder this morning, the left shoulder, with that crash up at turn 3. Declared fit, 4th fastest in the free practice 4. Now out he goes in 15 minutes of qualifying for round 10 of the Motogp World Championship, the 28 lap race tomorrow. Who will be on the front row of the grid? Tyre choice, medium for the championship leader.
Yeah, the medium rear tyre is the softest of the 2 rears available here this weekend for the Motogp. Look at those packed grandstands as Marc Marquez peels through this very fast turn 2 at full racing speed. He comes through there at 330 kilometres an hour. And this is where all the drama happened this morning for Marc Marquez. The highest point of the circuit, turn number 3, where he almost ran into the back of his teammate Dani Pedrosa, fell very heavily. It's been an eventful day for the World Championship League. He's already had a hospital visit to check on that damaged left shoulder. Dylan.
Yeah, guys, just a quick word on the tyre combination. Lorenzo's gone out with the soft front tyre, medium rear. So that's the he does seem to favour that soft option. That's what we saw in free practice 4. The Ducatis we've seen on medium front, medium rears, as is Valentino Rossi and Marc Marquez. The only one who's got a rear tyre different is Eugene Lavati, because he's saving a soft one for his second run.
That battle commence here in the Alpine sunshine, qualifying to the shootout for round 10 of the championship tomorrow. Can anybody stop the Ducatis?
On board with Dovizioso. This is where the Ducati is so strong, where they build up momentum all the way up to top gear, 6th gear, flat out down that straight between turn 1 and 3. And then they've got this great grunt accelerating out of that 3rd corner, all the way up to top gear again, down that long run to turn number 4, downhill, hard on the brakes. It's all about braking stability, hard acceleration and top speed at this Red Bull Ring circuit. And all 3 areas the Ducati is absolutely brilliant at.
So Eugene Lavati definitely following the right man at the moment, isn't he, in Andrea Dovizioso. This is a turn 6 and 7, the 2 left-handers.
Yeah, Dovizioso, of course, was in pole position a couple of races ago in Aston. It was his first pole since the opening round of 2015 in Qatar. He might not have to wait quite that same distance for his latest pole position, chasing what would be an 18th career pole for Dovizioso.
Through turn 9, now down to 10. And into the start and finish straight, Dylan.
Just a quick word on tactics, guys. You know, we haven't spoken about it much recently, whether anyone might do a bit of a 2-stop strategy, but Jorge Lorenzo does have his second bike out in pit lane. It doesn't have a rear tyre in it, but it might mean that he'll try and do a 2-stop, but then he would essentially determine when he comes in whether he prefers the bike he's on or whether he'll then switch to the other one.
We switch to Marc Marquez. As Dovizioso set the ball figure, 1:23.668. Great start by Lavati in his first ever qualifying 2, 3rd fastest.
You know, we haven't mentioned at all as a potential front row threat, Hector Barbera. Yeah. On the front row of the grid, wasn't he, of course, in the Saxon ring 4 weeks ago, and he's got that Ducati power underneath him, so yeah, he could well be in the reckoning. Marquez is over the line to complete his first fast time lap, 1:31.230, so steady away for the Spaniard. Dovizioso's first flying lap was a 1:23.668. That's only 0.3 of a second outside of the fastest lap we've seen all weekend from his teammate Iannone.
So Rossi crosses the line in 4th place. Maverick Vinales in 5th. Here they are at turn 1. This is going to be, if it's going to be quick, it's going to be this lap. Here's Jorge Lorenzo. Lorenzo safely through turn 10. Over the line for Lorenzo in 4th place. Iannone running in 8th place. Right, fun and games are about to start now.
Here is Lavati, star of Q1, no doubt about that. Riding in Q2 for the first time in his MotoGP career. He's out on that hard option rear tyre, though, as Dylan said. He had to, by going into Q1, he's used up more softer tyres than some of these other riders, so just saving one of those medium option rear tyres for the end of the session. Dovizioso in. It's his benchmark of 1:23.668 that leads the way from Barbera, from Lavati, from Redding. As it stands at the moment, still a long way to go in this session. 10 minutes remaining. It's all Ducati top 4.
We ride with Maverick Vinales. Can he break into that top 4 on the Suzuki? Up over the rise still following Valentino Rossi as they come down towards 10, the final corner. Rossi could come up into 4th. What about Vinales? Well, we are about to find out. There's still a long, long way to go in this session. Still 9.5 minutes.
Rossi 5th, Vinales 2nd. So Maverick Vinales a 1:23.751. How many times on track do we see Vinales and Rossi glued together?
And this is a good lap by Jorge Lorenzo coming up. He could take over at the front, albeit perhaps not for very long. Let's have a look at number 99 first. Lorenzo crosses the line, goes top. Now what about Andrea Iannone?
Just behind him, Iannone goes top, 1:23.623. So it's Iannone from Lorenzo and Dovizioso. They were just 0.04 of a second covering the top 3.
Yeah, and this is quite interesting. I don't believe we've seen that so far this season. Dobby doing a 2-stop. He's normally Ducati, we do not see this, but this is now his 3rd new medium rear slick.
Yeah, I was coming down to ask you because I thought he'd come in pretty early on, hadn't he? But it is.
Is he
2 stops then for Andrea Dovizioso.
He's quite keen to get a pole position, I think.
I think you're probably right there. Here is Lorenzo.
Yeah, this is another brilliant lap coming in from Lorenzo. Look at that. He's only 900ths outside of the best pace through the first sector. If Lorenzo can get on the front row of the grid, what a confidence boost that would be for him.
Here comes Iannone.
Lorenzo slowed down there, look, and got tucked in behind Andrea Iannone. This is clever riding by Lorenzo because he knows he's going to try and get a bit of a slipstream, get a bit of a toe behind that factory Ducati of Iannone. He deliberately rolled out of it on that lap and waited for Iannone to come through.
3rd row at the moment for Valentino Rossi. He want to be on those top 2 rows, sorry. And obviously we'd like to be on that front row. This is going to be one hell of a 3.5 minutes here in Austria.
Iannone knew exactly what Lorenzo was doing, and Andrea Iannone himself, you could just see he's pulled right to the side of the circuit there. So Andrea Iannone's like, well, I'm not giving you a helping hand around this track. You're taking my ride in the factory Ducati team next year.
Here is Valentino Rossi. Down in towards turn 10, through turn 10. Right, Lorenzo's got to do it, well, not all alone, but he's not going to have the help of Andrea Iannone. This is a very, very important for the lap for the world champion and the man that's 2nd in the world championship as he races up through turn 2 towards turn 3. First split time any moment now for Lorenzo, and he's up.
He is up by 0.02 of a second. There's not any love lost between Lorenzo and Iannone after what happened in Barcelona. So no surprise to see those two not willing to help each other out. Scott Running's on a good lap as well. He's been a bit low-key so far in this section of the British rider. He's down in 11th place. It is Redding, actually, who's quite nicely poised behind Lorenzo as they drop down into the braking zone for turn number 4. In fact, Redding, if he keeps this lap going, he could be heading towards around the 2nd row of the grid. Lorenzo's still on a flyer. He's only outside of Dovizioso's pace by 100th of a second. Brilliant from the world champion.
We ride with the world champion. He's up through turn 7, turn 8 coming up the right-hander. Bring him to this downhill straight once again into the first turn 9. In the middle here, we're going to get the 3rd sector time. Is it a yellow? Is it a red? It's a red for Lorenzo.
Well, this would be a major, major shock if Ducati don't take pole position here. Here comes Lorenzo then through turn number 10.
Jorge Lorenzo, could he cause almost the shock of qualifying this season? Crosses the line now in first place.
1:23.361 from Jorge Lorenzo. It's not quite the fastest lap we've seen of the weekend. It's certainly the fastest lap in this qualifying session so far. Valentino Rossi up into 6th place. What have Ducati got to respond to a majestic performance by the world champion? Scott Rudding did move up into 5th place, but Dovizioso's retaliating. Here comes Dovizioso. He's up through the first 2 sectors.
Yes, we ride with him, that familiar number 4 on the back of his leathers. Dovizioso, his 250th Grand Prix appearance tomorrow. It could be his 2nd ever Motogp victory. 3rd split time now for Dovizioso. He's up. He's going to do it.
He's found time, Dovizioso. He's up over a 10th. Keep an eye on Andrea Iannone as well, because he was quick through the first sector. It could be a shootout now for pole between the 2 Ducatis. Oh, Dovizioso just about kept it on the curb. Dovizioso over the line. He doesn't do it. What about Iannone? It could all be down to Andrea Iannone. He is still up. Dovizioso got over the line for one more lap.
Right, Dovizioso, I'm going to bet your house on him doing it. He didn't do it. We now ride with Maverick Vinales. on the Suzuki. Rossi out there. Iannone is the man to keep an eye on. Let's follow Maverick Vinales to start with. He could get there, third place. Valentino Rossi has found something from absolutely nowhere. 8,000ths of a second separate them. Who is going to take pole position here in Austria?
What about Marc Marquez as well? Rossi over the line up into third place. Andrea Iannone will come to line. Only third for Iannone then. So it's still Lorenzo in pole position. 10 seconds of the session remaining. Dovizioso is on a pole lap. Andrea Dovizioso's up by 600ths of a second. Here is Lorenzo, who still is set to pull off a huge shock here in Austria.
Carl Crutchlow crosses the line in 7th place. Checkered flag is out. It's down to one man now. He's number 4. He's on the Ducati. Can he take the pole position? I thought he was going to do it last time round. Right, he's got almost 0.2 of a second advantage as he plunges down through turn 9.
Andrea Iannone got over the line for another lap and Iannone's flying. Here comes Dovizioso. Dovizioso trying to take his 18th career pole position. Here comes the Italian. Dovizioso goes top, a 1:23.298. What has Andrea Iannone got left in this qualifying session? It's all about the number 29.
What about Valentino Rossi, currently running in 4th place? Can he knock his teammate Jorge Lorenzo off that front row of the grid? Lorenzo currently running in 2nd place. Here comes Rossi down into turn 9. Iannone on this decent lap. Rossi will cross the line first. Where is it going to end up? We are going to find out. The checkered flag is out.
I don't think Rossi's done enough. Rossi comes over the line. He does! What a final sector by Rossi. Brilliant by the Italian. And Iannone stashes it. Andrea Iannone right at the death. What a finish to qualifying here in Austria. Andrea Iannone. Valentino Rossi had pole for what? 5 seconds. Brilliant lap by Rossi, but he was passed right at the end by the Maniac. 1:23.142. Couple of sensational last laps from Iannone and Rossi. We've got an all-Italian front row. What a qualifying session that was.
Welcome back, Motogp to Austria. Enjoy that, because that was one of the most incredible last 2 minutes we've seen for a very long time. Andrea Iannone in pole. Valentino Rossi, what a lap at the end there. Dovizioso, what
unbeatable on the Ducati.
And Rossi
qualified well, and what he did was he made sure that he got to the front and broke up Casey Stoner's rhythm.
He roughed him up, put it bluntly, didn't he?
And this reminds me so much of that weekend.
Yeah. They are great mates.